Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, I am absolutely thrilled you're here with us today because we're jumping right into what is literally the most fascinating and kind of the most misunderstood part of the financial markets, and that's the human brain. Today, we're exploring some profound concepts from mind over markets. We're going to see why achieving true success isn't about finding some magic secret indicator on your chart. Instead, it's about embarking on a vertical psychological climb. It's a massive evolution from what we call retail chaos straight up to institutional control. So get ready because what we cover today is absolutely going to change how you view your own behavior. Right off the bat, it's a paradox that baffles millions. Why is it that incredibly smart people, we're talking doctors, lawyers, highly trained engineers, why do they so often find their massive intellect completely useless when they step into the markets? I mean, these are folks who have conquered incredibly complex systems. They've crushed rigorous academics, yet they routinely blow up trading accounts. Why? Well, because the market doesn't care about your degree. It doesn't care about your IQ or your ability to solve complex equations. It's an entirely different biological battleground. And today we're going to expose exactly what that human glitch is. So here is our exact blueprint for this vertical psychological climb to cure that glitch. We'll be hitting 1. The retail chaos matrix, 2. Why smart people fail, 3. The 3M survival framework, 4. The dead calm blueprint, 5. The probability jar, and finally, 6. The boring truth. Okay, section 1. The retail chaos matrix. Let's dive into this by diagnosing the pain of the initial stages, where, let's be honest, the vast majority of traders are currently stuck. Think about the frantic, almost breathless energy of levels 1 through 3. This is what we call the excited gambler phase. Your heart's pounding, you're constantly refreshing your screen, you're getting this massive dopamine hit every single time a candle flashes green. You're desperately hunting for that holy grail indicator that's somehow going to save you from your own fear and greed. It is absolute chaos. It's totally reactive, and honestly, it's exhausting. But then, contrast that with level 7, the professional identity. Up here, that slot machine mentality is completely gone. You've achieved what's called neural clarity. Execution is just a purely mechanical process, and most importantly, your self-worth is entirely detached from the outcome of the trade. It is just effortless, calm control. Moving to section 2, why smart people fail. Now, this completely flips the paradigm of what it actually takes to be successful in this arena. Take a look at this quote. It stems from the analysis of psychiatrist Ari Kiev, who actually worked with top-tier hedge funds. He found that the smartest analysts, the ones who could build the most brilliant, intricate financial models, were very often the absolute worst traders. Why is that? It's because highly analytical people try to treat the market like a logical puzzle that just needs to be outsmarted. They let their ego take the wheel. They actually think their sheer intellect can force the market to behave. But here's the thing. The market isn't a math test. Treating it that way leads straight to intellectual failure. So the absolutely crucial point here is that the market is not a puzzle. It's a mirror. It is literally just reflecting your internal insecurities, your impatience, your greed, and your desperate need to be right. And you cannot outsmart a mirror, right? You have to fix the internal glitch first. The truly consistent professionals are the ones humble enough to just drop their big intellectual theories and strictly adhere to a mechanical framework. Which brings us perfectly to section 3, the 3M survival framework. Because just recognizing the glitch isn't enough. We need a concrete defense system. This is our 3M survival framework, and it's basically a daily survival checklist to protect you from yourself. First up, we've got the shield. This is your absolute unbreakable dedication to risk management and capital preservation. Second is the map. This is where you learn to read actual market structure, things like break of structure and change of character, instead of relying on those lagging retail indicators that just keep you blind to the real institutional narrative. And finally, the referee. This is your trading journal, like an edgewonk setup. Your referee acts as a ruthless truth teller. It exposes your impulsive habits and holds you completely accountable when your ego tries to hide your mistakes. To really anchor this concept of the shield, I want you to remember this. Your stop loss is your seatbelt. Listen, you don't put a seatbelt on because you're planning to crash your car on the way to the grocery store, do you? No. You put it on because if someone else suddenly swerves into your lane, you want to survive the crash today so you can drive again tomorrow. Capital preservation isn't some annoying restriction. It's the ultimate survival tool. All right, section 4, the dead calm blueprint. We are climbing higher now, aiming for that actual biological shift required to reach level 7. This shift basically comes down to a turf war between two parts of your brain. On one side, we have the amygdala. This is your fear center. It's totally driven by emotional reflexes. Amateurs rely on willpower to fight the amygdala, but willpower is finite. It will absolutely break under market pressure. Professionals, though, they operate from the prefrontal cortex. That's the logic center. Because they know willpower runs out, they use a strict pre-trade routine, a deliberate internal reset to make sure the logic center is firmly driving the car before a trade is ever even placed. And we lock that logic in using the 20 trade rule. Look, your brain is constantly going to try to sabotage you because it hates the unknown. But when you execute 20 consecutive trades strictly by your mechanical rules, totally regardless of whether those individual trades win or lose, you give your brain the undeniable statistical proof it needs. Once your brain sees that the system actually works over a sample size of 20, the amygdala finally quiets down and you stop self-sabotaging. Section 5, the probability jar. Now, to actually survive taking those 20 trades without losing our minds, we have to completely detach. Imagine every single trade you take is just reaching your hand into a jar completely blindfolded. The jar is filled with 50% green marbles, which are your wins, and 50% red marbles, which are your losses. If you reach in and pull out a red marble, it doesn't mean you're stupid, it doesn't mean the market has it out for you, and it absolutely doesn't mean your entire strategy is broken. It is literally just statistical probability playing out exactly as it's meant to. You just acknowledge the red marble, put it down, and reach into the jar again. As the framework so brilliantly points out, taking a loss personally is classic level 1 retail chaos. Accepting that a loss is simply a red marble is the ultimate key to achieving true neural clarity. Adopting this mindset is what gives you that unshakable consistency even when the charts are moving incredibly fast. And finally, Section 6, the boring truth. We have reached the pinnacle of the climb, and it's time to completely rebrand a word that most people think of as a negative. First, let's look at what excitement actually gets you, the treadmill effect. Beginners love high activity. They're taking dozens of trades a day because clicking buttons creates the illusion of hard work. They feel like they're totally hustling. But just like running on a literal treadmill, you can sweat and exhaust yourself for hours, and at the end of the day, your equity curve hasn't moved a single inch forward. Contrast that exhausting treadmill with the true stamina required by professionals. The stamina to wait hours or even days, doing absolutely nothing until an A-plus institutional setup finally appears. Boring traders make more money. I'm just going to let that sink in for a second. Real wealth in the markets is not built through adrenaline-pumping, Hollywood-style excitement. It's built through the quiet, highly repetitive, and ultimately boring execution of a positive expectancy system. When trading finally becomes boring for you, you know you've mastered your own psychology. So, I want to leave you with this lingering thought today. Everyone wants the rewards of level 7, but very few are actually willing to endure the quiet discipline required to get there. Do you have the stamina to do nothing? Can you step away from the treadmill, stop chasing the dopamine high of the retail matrix, and cultivate the sheer psychological patience to wait until the odds are overwhelmingly in your favor? Because that right there, that is the threshold to the top 3%. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this gives you the neural clarity you need moving forward.